Hey everybody, good evening. It is July 17th and welcome to our Team Good Vibe Tribe call. Welcome to all of you that are brand new coaches. You have made such a great decision to be a part of the Good Vibe Tribe and to become a coach. The best way for you to get started is really just to dive in with 2 feet into your Beachbody challenge. I always say chase results like a boss. Like get results like a boss, because that's, if you're really interested in the business side, that's what's going to help you launch your business, because you are your own billboard and people are going to see you progressing, and everybody wants to do that thing that's going to take them next level. Go through the welcome email that your coach sent you and make sure you book a Getting Started Right call with them. That's an opportunity for them to tell you a little bit more about coach benefits, but also for them to learn about you and the pace you want to move, so you can really set an action plan that complements you guys together. Make sure that you sign up / log in for our coach training website. It's goodvibetribecoaches.com. When you go there, we have a ton of self-paced trainings, so you can go through the quick start trainings, which are about 6 videos that some of the women on the team have put together so that they can give you the wheels to get started on your business without even having done any of the structured trainings. We also have a phase 1 and a phase 2 training on that site. They're essentially the same trainings you'll find in the Team Beachbody Coach online office. So you could also do training there. You kind of pick your poison as to where you want to stick your feet in and start learning. There's so many great places. The content is pretty much the same everywhere you get it from. You also want to make sure that in the first month that you're a coach, that you hit Success Club and you advance your business to Emerald. Hitting Success Club just means that you're helping 3 individuals get started on a challenge pack, just like you did, whether they enroll as a coach or a challenger. It doesn't really matter. You get 2 points every time you help someone get started on a challenge pack, 2 points for Shakeology home direct orders or the performance stack on home direct. And advancing to Emerald is really important because you open your business center. So not only are you going to be earning your 25 to 40% commissions, but this is when you start getting company generated leads, you start earning on a bonus structure, and you start building your team, which is going to set you up for long-term income success. So make it your non-negotiable to hit Success Club every single month. If you do that in the first 3 months that you're a coach, so if you enrolled this month, if you hit it anytime this month or next month, Beachbody considers your first month as a coach the month you enrolled or the month after. So if you hit it this month, next month, and the month after, and you just enrolled this month or last month, then you're going to earn a ticket to Coach Summit 2019, next year's Coach Summit, which a lot of you, I'm sure, just saw us got back from. It's the absolute best training that you can get in becoming a coach. So make sure you get that ticket. Also, you want to practice your vital behaviors every single day. That's simply inviting people to join our bootcamp communities, to join the challenge with you, to join Coach Sneak Peeks, to be a part of the team, to be a product of the product yourself. So that's drinking your Shakeology or your performance, doing your workout every single day like it's your job, because essentially it is. And that's what's wild. It's like, I remember thinking, like, I would always look at like Jennifer Aniston and all like the movie starlets and be like, of course they look amazing. Like, they're getting paid to look freaking good so they can actually designate time in their day to work out. You get paid now to take care of yourself and move your results next level. So you're like the next Jennifer Aniston. So that's really cool. So be a product of the product, personal development. Every single day you have got to have your face in 10 minutes of personal development, business development, whether that's something that you're reading or something that you're listening to, like a podcast or an Audible book. This is so important for growing yourself. And I will say that most coaches who give up, or they, hit the hard knocks of being an entrepreneur and they fall on their face and they're unwilling to get back up, it's because they're not doing the work to grow themselves. Like, you have to be willing to do the personal development work every single day to grow you. Also, we focus on recognition. That's one of our vital behaviors. So you can shout out your teammates in your Instagram stories. You can shout them out on your pages. You can shout out individuals that are doing the challenge with you. You can shout out friends of yours if you see really great accomplishments in their life. Really, you're just building trust, building community, and then recognizing others and adding value to them. So help your coaches by doing the exact same thing. So you want to get them started in our coach training. You want to get them going in Success Club. You want to help them advance their businesses to Emerald. So you do that by going into our 10-day coach boot camp or inviting your coaches into the 10-day boot camp with you. It's awesome. It will change the game if you do the work. I do want to give a big shout out to everyone who's already in Success Club this month, and we still have half the month to go, which is amazing. So Moira Casaba, 36, Jessica Griffin, 34, and these numbers were pulled yesterday, so I know some of you have updates even from yesterday. Courtney Burton, 22, myself, 22, Jolie McLeod, 20. At 18, Aaron Kirkpatrick and Aaron Hopkins. At 16, Jacqueline Hughes and Amber Graves. 14, Michelle Harris, Kendria Close, Cheryl Sellers, and Brittany Corbett. At 12, Megan Holmes, MC Wright, who you'll hear from on the call tonight, Ashley D, Holly Steer, and at 10, Stacy Thompson, Hannah Roberts, Katie Moore, Shannon Plombon, and Heidi Howe. Congratulations to all of you, and congratulations to those of you in Success Club who have helped at least 3 individuals this month. Daniel Porter at 8, also at 8, Bethany Brautigam, who will be interviewing MC tonight, Kristen Morris, Alicia Book, and Heather Guthrie, Lauren Manistalco, Melissa Buffington, Jesse Maher, Tabitha E, Kim Jones, Jesse H, Leslie Thomas, and Angela Fox, Emily Carmen, and at 6, Carrie Crowther, Alana Renner, Caress Cooper, Lauren Kay, Leanne Bagg, Jody Hill, Kenna Schumann, Emily Linville, Kristen Zalesnik, and Annie Banks, and also in Success Club at 6, Jennifer Schilling, Carly Jo Smith, Zoe Costa, Ann Alexandra, Cece Davis, Jennifer Fisher, Elizabeth Usher, Leah White, Dave Fisher, Allison Schofield, Martha Ribocco, Megan Seibel, Adrian Kina, and Leah Morrison. Congratulations to all of you guys. And then there's a handful of you at SC4 as well. You're so close. So we have all of you listed there. But Success Club starts at SC5 or higher, so make sure to help at least one more person this month to get in Success Club and to earn those rewards, including starting to earn your way onto our Success Club trip. So it's an annual trip we do every single year. Beachbody takes you +1 for being one of the highest Success Club earners or for being in Success Club every single month of the year. So make that happen. Starting now, you can still earn your way onto the next announced trip next year. So top producers, Jessica Griffin with 1,960 PV. PV stands for personal volume. It's anything you purchase from your Beachbody store. Moreover, it's anything your customers purchase from you. So this shows that she's helping a lot of people. She has great customer retention. She offers great customer service and has a great business. And it shows she's making money, because I'll be honest with you, at the beginning, couple years of your business, you will find a big majority of your income is derived from commissions. So having high PV really means that you're helping a lot of people and you're making money. So also in the 1,000 Club, Moira Casaba and Aaron Hopkins, 900 Club, Jolie McLeod, 800 Club, myself, 700 Club, Courtney Burton, Maggie Marlowe, Kristen Morris, Jesse H, and Jacqueline Hughes, 600 Club, Carly Jo Smith, Kristen Zalesnik, Angela Fox, 500 Club, Christy C, Michelle Harris, Stacy Thompson, Jennifer Fisher, Adrian Kina, 400 Club, Heather Guthrie, Heidi Howe, Chrissy I, Todd Y, MC Wright, Aaron Kirkpatrick, and the 300 Club, Kayla Wardlaw, Nicole O, Anna B, Shannon Plombon, Melissa Buffington, Kendria Close, Danielle Porter, Heidi M, Kenna Schumann, Susan Doyle, Jerry L, Brittany Acker, and Amy Allen. Congratulations to all you guys. And a big shout out to our newest Emeralds who graduated from our 10-day Emerald Boot Camp and just rocked it. Leanne, as well as Emily from Team Soul Unleashed. And I want to give a shout out also to Caress, who got her Emerald back. She pretty much resigned without canceling her business. She kind of resigned from the business last year, let life get crazy and busy, and didn't work her business, went to Summit, got re-inspired, and she's building a business again. And it's really exciting to see because she is just awesome. She's amazing. So the benefits of being Emerald, you guys, like I mentioned before, not only do you continue to get your commissions, you move into the world of team cycle bonuses. It's all based on the volume on your team. That means how many individuals on your team you're helping and how many individuals you're helping on your team to become strong leaders and be successful. So this is where it really starts to step into leadership. It's the very beginning of your business. Not only are you eligible for those cycle bonuses, but moreover, as you continue to be in Success Club and you continue to be an Emerald or higher ranked coach, you're also going to get those company generated leads. These are individuals who order from Team Beachbody or any other outlet like eBay or somewhere where it gets back to Beachbody. And it's individuals that are already buying product, and Beachbody simply sends you their contact info. Sometimes it says do not contact, but here's the thing is that those are customers that buy product. They're on Beachbody On Demand, they're on Shakeology. So even if you cannot contact them, which would be the optimal thing, right, to extend the olive branch and help somebody on their journey, even if you cannot contact them, when they do place orders, you get the commissions as long as you are in Success Club and continue to be an Emerald ranker higher coach. So definitely make that happen. Okay, so all of this shared, I want to do a quick introduction for our presenters tonight, and then I'm really going to turn it over to them to introduce themselves a little bit more. But in short, first, you'll meet Bethany Brautigam. I know a lot of you have met her before. She's a Star Diamond coach on the team. She is a team leader. She's the founder of Team Sempre Libera. I'm probably saying that wrong. She's an opera singer, and she's freaking baller and amazing. She has such an incredible story she shared before on this call, and we'll definitely get her on to share more and more if she doesn't get a chance to share a lot tonight. Her intention this evening is really to be interviewing Mary Catherine, who, again, is an amazing baller. She's a team builder and the founder of Team Bella Vita. She also is an opera singer, and I'll tell you, Bethany knows MC a lot better than I do, but just from watching MC this year, she enrolled as a coach, I want to say in 2016, but she'll let you know. But just from watching her this year, she did a complete 180 on her business. Her SC numbers are bananas. She's growing an amazing team. She's such a strong leader. I'm so excited for her to share with you all of her secrets, because I'm telling you, success leaves clues, and this lady is doing things right. So all of that shared, Bethany, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'm going to mute my mic.
Unmute myself. Hey everybody, I'm so excited to interview MC tonight. I'm so proud of her, and she is like such a huge force on our team, so I'm really excited. Those of you who haven't met me, I'm not going to do all my accolades. I'll just come on some other time, but I do want to let you know I checked off something from my vision board last week. On Thursday, I got LASIK, and that is totally because of Beachbody, and that is like a huge life-changing thing. So if you have glasses or contacts, like put it on your vision board, work your business, and you can make it happen. So that's like my only part of my story I'm going to share tonight, because anyway, I don't want to do everything. But MC and I met last year, probably like around March. I think it was March. And I had just shared a kind of big vulnerable post about the opera business, and she found it because it got shared by a mutual friend. And so we connected, and she joined my challenge group and was like rocking it out. And I, was like, you need to become a coach. Absolutely, you have to become a coach. And she became a coach while I was in Punta Cana. And she was like, I'm going to be there on that trip with you next year. And then she was. So you see pictures of us in Mexico together. So she made that happen for herself. So I'm really excited. She's only been a coach for just a little over a year. And she really just like caught the fire, like in February, like really caught the fire. But I'm going to let her talk. So MC, I just want to start by having you share a little bit about like why you started, what made you go from challenger to coach, and what kind of were your initial struggles as a new coach?
Hey guys. So obviously I don't know. I have like a long history with Beachbody actually. I had been technically a coach before, but I was never introduced to the business. I was just doing it for the discounts. Because I've done like Insanity, like I have all like most of the DVDs. And I just, Bethany said, we found each other and stuff, but I just remember I had just graduated college And I just felt really lost. And I was like kind of battling a little bit in and out of anxiety and a little bit of depression in terms of like, I didn't know what I was doing. I felt like I had lost control of my body. Like I knew I had no control over my career really. And I knew that, but I had no control over my body either. And I just felt really down, and it's hard to perform and stuff like that when you're feeling so out of control. And so when she actually posted, I actually think the reason I knew that you were a Beachbody coach is because I remember seeing Meredith shared something and you shared it, and it was like, Bethany, I think you were like a 1-star or something, and she shared it. And I was like, oh, she must be Beachbody coach. So I like knew about, like, and I remember messaging you after you invited me to a challenge and being like, oh, are you a Beachbody coach? You know, like, and I was just ready. Like, I was like, yeah, I need to like do something because, you know. And so I did the challenge, and I have a history of like binge eating. And so I remember when I was doing it, I wanted to do it for real. And I didn't like Shakeology in the past, but I never really tried drinking it consistently. So I was like, I'm just going to do the workouts, drink consistently, and get into this challenge group. And I remember that challenge group changed my life because that was like the one, I started doing it again, but where we were doing these self-love quotes every day at lunchtime. Like Bethany had scheduled them all out, and I was like really struggling. And so seeing those every day, I was like, oh my God, this is like so much more than just working out, you know? And so she messaged me and she was like, hey, you know, do you want to do what you already doing what I do? And I was like, no, I don't really want to do that. So I was like, no, I'm good. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And so she messaged me like a week later. She's like, are you really sure? And I'm like, you know what? Fine. It's fine. I want to drink Shakeology. And so I signed up for the discounts. And then I was just sharing my journey on Facebook, you know, and I had people asking me what I was doing. And so I just was like, okay, how do I like, you know, I'd like to like make my Shakeology. That was my goal. And then I started doing that. I think I hit like SC10 actually my first month, just because I was just excited, you know? And that's really what it all goes down to is like, and that's something I'll talk about later. But I hit SC10 my first month, and then I was doing really pretty well. I was bummed because I was literally one person off from Success Starters. But I didn't necessarily let it bother me too much. I tried to just be like, okay, because the girl actually ordered like literally the next day. She didn't do it by midnight. I was like, are you kidding me? But anyways, and then I was at an opera program, and I was working out every day, like going to the gym, woke up at 6 a.m, and we had rehearsals all day, you know. And in one of the staging rehearsals, my back got injured, and I like got to the point where I like could barely walk on show day. You know, and so I was out for like a couple months, and I remember just like crying because like I was so frustrated because I'd made so much progress and I couldn't do anything. You know, like I just was like trying to at least like spin or do something, and I just would wake up and I'd feel like I was doing so great, and then, you know, and so that depression, anxiety thing was kind of coming back. And I remember like 80-day obsession was announced, and I was like, oh my God, I need this. Like I needed it so bad because I needed a restart. And yeah, honestly, 80-day obsession. And I got my back situation figured out, mostly stemming from my pelvis. But I got it all figured out, and I got the okay from my chiropractor. And so I was just super, super excited. And yeah, and that's a little bit of what happened to me, what happened with the switch.
So for about, you know, the first like 8 or 9 months, you were always there. You were always helping like at least one person a month. But then you had a point this year, like from February on, you've just been like on fire, like teens or higher, and then with successful points. And then in April, you hit like 54, 56. And so what happened? Like, what was the game changer? Was it like a mindset shift? Was it something like a goal you were going for? What was it that like flipped that switch for you?
Yeah, honestly, because I like racked my brain for this too, because I remember like I was pushing for people to do 80-day obsession with me, and in December I think I hit SC12, and I was like so excited. That was the highest I'd ever gotten. And in January I couldn't even hit Success Club. I was like, are you kidding me? You know, it was just that like up and down, up and down. But I was doing the program. Like I was like, I'm gonna do this. I need this, you know. And I was determined to share my story on Instagram. Like I was determined to share everything. I was determined to record all my stuff. Like, And it's funny because looking back at my videos from when I started 80 Day Obsession, they're just like I've gotten a little better at it. Like I use natural light now, but you know what I mean? Like, and that's another thing that I'll talk about later. But I know that 80 Day Obsession literally changed everything for me because one, it brought back my belief in the product, which was huge for me because most of my reason I was like holding back, and I still catch myself every once in a while, was the fear of like what other people thought of me and like, oh, she's in a, she's in one of those MLMs or whatever. But when you believe about the products, you don't care, like you really don't. Cause I'm like, okay, cool. Like, bye. Like it's all right. Like I'm not offended, and I remember so I remember that specifically. So I was sharing, and in February, I think I hit like SC12 or something of 14. And it was because 80 Day Obsession was also just helping my mindset. Like I remember like I would cry in some workouts because like I was like realizing, like I wouldn't even know why, but things would like come in after, working the muscles for so long, because they say we hold a lot of our emotions in our muscles. And I would just cry, and then like revelations would happen, like I remember like having all these, and I was determined to be very vulnerable in my challenge groups too. Like I remember I came on one time and I was literally sobbing about, some body image issues. And I just remember like, just having that joy again, and the Diamond Dash training, I was decided to go in on that. And I also reached the point where, I also got engaged in January. And I remember thinking like, I don't know. I just know that I was like, every time I would get anxious, like every single time I would get anxiety, it would come in. I'd say, okay, what's the problem? Most of the time, honestly, it was about money. And so then I'd say, okay, how would I fix this? Because usually what I would do is I'd say, okay, I'm not going to have my Shaco next month, or I'll push it back, because that was it. And then I would say, no, okay, that's not going to solve the problem. That's like not going to solve the problem. The only thing that's going to solve it is me diving in. So that's one of those things I've been telling everybody this year, is that I've started changing my fight or flight response from flight to fight.
I love that. And I just want to say, I clearly remember that live video and how it sparked like a conversation in our challenge group that so many, even like the silent people in the challenge group, commented on. We had this huge conversation about like our body image and our relationships with our mothers. And it was so meaningful. And that creates so many bonds in the challenge group and really makes it feel like a family. So I just want to like, if you missed the like underlying point of that, to like all the new coaches, like don't think that you have to be this perfect coach that has it all together when you run your first challenge group, because you sharing your struggles is going to create space for everyone in your challenge group to share their struggles, and everyone's going to feel like it's a family, and they're going to be lifers, and they're going to keep doing challenges with you, and they're going to become coaches, and they're going to want to be on your team because that's your community. So I just wanted to like explicitly state that because that was really meaningful for all of us. So how many people are you helping a month, and how many coaches?
This past month, I have not onboarded as many coaches as I wanted to, but I'm learning to try to figure out how to balance my opera stuff too. But my goal is always, I try to get at least 8, because for like 4 months there, I was getting 8. Like I think I have like 26 coaches or something. Yes, I'm still Emerald, but blinders. And my goal now, because it used to be like, oh, SE5 is the minimum, and then once I hit SE12, I was like, okay, SE10 is my minimum. Like I want to get, I want to hit that. And then that I think I was getting higher and higher, and so I was like, okay, I just need to set my bar really high. And so I remember being like, I'm gonna hit SC30, and I was like terrified. And that actually made me realize how much work it actually takes. Because I'd be like, oh, SC5, that's only, this amount of people. So you're like, oh, I only have to ask, a certain amount of people. And once I get it, I'm done, So I think setting my bar really high was important. But I think on my average, my minimum that I set for myself now is at least 20. So that's what I push for. so I'd say my average is kind of wonky because of my one like super high month. But that's my minimum. I definitely, SC10 is literally the bear scraping the scraping the bottom of the barrel in my mind. So I try to help at least, I guess 10 people a month.
That's awesome. And don't say I'm only Emerald, because your team is exploding and there's some like emerging rock stars. I see some of them on the call. And when you do go diamond, we see a lot of people go diamond and drop rank because people go inactive, and you're building a really solid business. So when the emeralds pop, they're going to pop and take off because they're following your example. But okay, so what has helped you? I think you kind of answered this already, but maybe a couple of the things that you said you were going to talk about later. What has helped you reach that many people?
Yes. So a lot of things, actually. I wrote some things down because I tend to, but that's just me. Definitely the trainings. But regardless of the trainings, I'm very type A. So like I want everything to be organized and perfect, and so that's great and all. And I've had to design systems, but I also had to reach a point where I was like, okay, you just got to do it. Like if you're trying to do everything perfect, it's never going to get done. Like if you're like, have these grand ideas of like, oh, I'm going to create this, I'm going to do this. And then you don't actually ever do anything. Like, you have to keep doing the things, the vitals are obviously definitely the most important. Another thing that was huge for me, and it helped my confidence, was creating start dates for challenges, like actually just being like, okay, I just need to sit down and say, we're going to do this. Because we used to have a rolling challenge group. And I remember like I would get kind of nervous because I started noticing some of my new people were kind of just disappearing because I felt like they needed someone to walk them through at least the first challenge and experience what I fell in love with, like day 1, day 2, and so I remember we were like, okay, we're going to start doing specific challenges, even though it might be more work for us. It's not about us, it's about them. And I really want them to have that community rather than trying to jump in to a group of like, 100 or whatever people that already like have all these connections and they're just like, I don't know what to do, so that was huge for me because then I felt confident. I was like, because I knew that people were going to get the results they wanted, which made me feel more belief in the programs, which is really honestly what it all comes down to for me. Because now that I'm doing like Lift 4 again, I feel the same way, like I was like so excited, and I've had to create dates, because if I don't, then I just am like, I don't feel the urgency to invite, like, because I don't know, if I don't have a date, then it's just different. I don't know if that's just me, but it definitely changed everything for me, because I think I started doing that in March, like in February. And then I was like, okay, I've got to do this. I got to do that. And that really helped with, the marketing plan. So I was like, okay, what am I inviting to? Which took the guesswork out of it and the stress out of it, I guess.
Yeah, so on that note, what is your monthly marketing plan? Like freemiums, sneak peeks? Do you have paid groups, free groups? What are you doing?
Yeah, so I started doing, like free weekly challenges, and I stopped doing that like the last couple of months just because things got crazy and I just stopped making it a priority. Not a good thing, but I also started noticing I was falling on my PD too. And so I decided, well, why don't I like combine the two? So I decided to make a free self-love book club that's actually just rolling. And because I knew that I needed, like, I just needed to do it. And it also helps a lot of people too. So I have, I think I have like 60 people in there, which is awesome. And it's just really cool because, it's a freemium, but it's also helping me because I think Moira did a call one time. She's like, because I was like, I don't even know what to do my freemiums on, and she's like, just do whatever you need help with, So that was really big for me. I try to have I try to do challenge groups. I'm still trying to figure everything out in terms of what's the best timing for me. But I at least have obviously one challenge group designated start day. And it's a little crazy lately because we've been having so many releases. So so I definitely have one, depending on where they fall. I try to at least have one to invite to every 3 weeks. And I'm working on getting a sneak peek and doing that for myself. I know we have them as a team, like the last couple weeks of the month. But yeah, and I just try to post like at least once a day because I really overthink it sometimes. They always say like, document, don't create, but like, let's be real. The top coaches that say that, they're like creating these great stories. And so I'm like, okay, I need to create this certain thing. And then I'm like, okay, no, I just need to post a picture, and just like keep myself like on their feed, whether it has to be profound or not, like I just try to do it. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, let's talk about, your social media. So yeah, how do you approach marketing? Do you do event pages, calls to action on social media, private invites? Like what are you doing to market your challenge groups and your coach sneak peeks?
Yes. So I try to do a little bit of all of it because I've noticed that different people respond to different things. Like I'll message people on Instagram and they won't respond to me. And then I'll message them and it'll say seen. Like I could see you seeing it, girl. Like I see you. And then I'll message them on Facebook. And like, I just had a girl that just signed up like within a day, like on Facebook. I'm like, why didn't you, respond to my Instagram messages, like you saw, I don't know. It's weird. And then I have I use Streak too, and I'm sure I'll talk about this later. But I send out challenge blasts, and that's another reason I get people's emails too. Like even if they're not interested yet, I'm like, hey, can I get your email so I can just put you on my list so you can know about my upcoming challenges? I usually post in there before I announce it to social media. And I'm not had one person say no. So I at least have that there. I do posting. I do call to actions. Some of them I do in my Instagram stories as well. I would do polls too. Not everybody responds to them, but I noticed that every once in a while, like people will respond to that. And I also do event pages on Facebook, and I've noticed that like people that I will message they'll not respond, and then I invite them to the thing on Facebook, and they'll say they're going, and I'm like, and so I'll message them and be like, hey girl, and they're like, yeah, I'm totally interested, and I'm like, it's so weird. But so that's why I just decided, I'm like, okay, I need to do it all, because I remember I stopped doing the event pages, and when I did it once, and I invited some people, and people that I've like never even talked to were interested, and they bought a challenge pack, and I'm like, so different people respond to different things, so I try to do a little bit of everything.
Okay, so what do your private invites look like? Are you working from a list each month? Is it follow-ups, new contacts? Do you talk to old challengers that haven't been around in a while? And then tell us a little bit about what your invites look like when you're sending it through Instagram or Facebook. And do you cold invite? And what is that? So that's a lot of questions wrapped in one. Just talk about how you.
So as long as I'm posting consistently, the invites are not bad. It's when I like take a couple days off. And that's another reason I'm like, I got to just at least get something out there. So when I'm posting consistently, I just, message the people who liked my posts. Like it's that simple, and sometimes if I don't know them at all, like I'll just message them and be like, and I'll look at their page and I'll be like, hey, and just like not even talking about a challenge group, just like wanting to connect, or, just like you kind of get a vibe for people. And if I have no relationship with them at all, unless they've directly liked or put an emoji on a challenge post, that I've said like, drop an emoji, because clearly they know what they're, So generally I'll just, try to get to know them a little bit. And then, so I'll message, and sometimes I'll invite, especially depending on my relationship with them, the post itself. And I'll just be like, hey girl, saw you liked my transformation post, because I always do it on transformation posts. And I'm like, thank you so much for the love. Sometimes those things are really scary to post, so I appreciate your support. Are you on a health and fitness journey too? Because that always leads into some people saying yes, or, you know, then I'll be like, okay, cool, what are you doing? And then some people will say yes, and they're not even like, they're not happy, you know? And then I can get an idea, and sometimes people will be like, oh, I'm doing Slimming World or whatever. And then I'll be like, oh, are you loving it? And some people will say yes. And then I could check back in with them in a couple of months, and sometimes they're not satisfied, you know? So it's good to get an idea. And then my cold invites, I do, and I try to keep it really simple. I, like, this is what I did for Lift 4, like the week before. I actually like to do my cold invites on, Facebook more, because I'll just open Messenger and I'll go through who's active, and I just like copy and paste and add in a little thing here and there depending on the person. Like if it's somebody I knew from high school that just got married, I'm like, oh, your wedding photos are so, you know, like adding that in. And that's, keep really nonchalant. I'm just like, hey, I'm doing this new challenge that starts on Monday. Like, I'm really looking for some, excuse my language, some badass girls to join me. Are you interested at all? You know, and sometimes, like, I had like four people sign up with that. Like, you know, and I think it's just because it was really chill. Like, I wasn't like, I hate the long, like, I know a lot of people have success with the long ones, but I just don't. Like, people, whenever I see someone send me, like, it's usually an MLM person, and I'm like, clearly I'm an MLM person. Like, why are you messaging me? But anyways, and it's like a long, like 3-paragraph thing. I'm just like, you know, you're trying to sell me something, which is what we don't want. Like, I'm not trying to sell you anything, you know, really. I'm just trying to get you to join me, really, is what I try to think about it. And I always do follow-ups. That's another reason I love Streak, because I can do like 150 follow-ups in like 3 minutes. And I can base those on the different pipelines I have. So like my current customers, I'll obviously tailor that towards them. Like the 80-day obsession people that are doing it right now, then I'll just be like, hey, how's it going? So that's super easy. I can make sure I'm checking in with them. And then my prospects, you know, I'll just make, you know, so it's like different things, but it makes it super easy. And I know people aren't falling through the cracks that way. And I try to do my coach sneak peeks that way too. So like, letting them know what's going on. And I'm going to get better about sharing like my paycheck kind of things. Like when I post those, and I want to send those to like my challengers even, and just be, you know, so I'm working on, that's another thing. Like, it's just making systems that work for you, and just doing it regardless of if it's perfect, because it's never going to be perfect. It's just going to change the whole time as your life changes. So yeah, I'm trying to think if I missed anything.
No, that's good. Yeah. So on that, how many invites, follow-ups, and new contacts are you making in like a day or a week, if that's easier? And then about how often do you post, and what do you what are the relevant things that you post about your health and fitness journey? How do you decide what's important to post for your audience?
What was the first thing you said? Sorry, I forgot.
Just how many invites and follow-ups and new contacts do you do, like either per day or per week? Because I know we have crazy schedules, so sometimes it's like you do a lot on one day and not the next.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people like to do the, like, I'm just going to do this many per day. I don't really work that way. I don't know why, but I'm one of those people that I work, like, I can't do, I don't know. I struggle with power hours. I think it's just my attention span. I don't know. And then things, I don't know. So I do better working on one task for like 30 minutes straight. Like so the way I did my cold invites, and I think that too helps with my mindset. Like if I'm copy and pasting and just adding a little thing, like there's less time to think. Like I'm not I'm just like, go, go, go. And then I don't have any regret or like, you know what I mean? Like cold feet. I'm like, oh, should I message this person? So basically actually what I do for my cold invites and for like when I'm following people, sometimes I'll just do it. Like if I'm in bed, because it's better to just do it than to track it, to be honest. I will take a piece of paper, and I wish I had my notebook. I apparently left it at work because I was looking for it. And I will just I'll just be inviting and I'll just write the person's name down, and I'll just go down a list, and I'll try to fill up a whole notebook page, 2 columns. Like, cause I just want to do it. I want to get it done. Like, I don't want to be like, okay, I got to do 10 a day. Cause then I got to build myself up like 7 days a week. I just want to do it like twice a week and then get it done and then do new follows, and things like that. So I actually don't really count, but I know that there's like 32 or 31 lines on the piece of paper. So I know when I do it, I do about like 64 people when I cold invites or just invites in general. And I try to do that 2 times a week. I already forgot what else we're talking about.
Oh yeah, this is a good one. So how do you decide what to post on your social media?
Yes. I am very into posting about body image because that is something I've suffered with a lot. So I try to post a lot about that, especially about like goals and just doing the damn thing, because so many like that was me for so long. I would just complain or be like, oh, I want to lose weight, but then I wouldn't do anything, So I try to do that a lot. I am a little bit of a hard A sometimes. And I try to just be okay with that too. I try to at least post 1 picture in makeup a week. I'm trying to be better at that. I just get lazy. And I don't even I work out early in the morning. I just don't put on makeup when I go to work. But every single time I post a makeup picture, I get like 120 likes and like 30 comments. So I know I need to just do it more often. So it's another reason I put on makeup before the call, because I was like, I need to just take some pictures. So yeah, I obviously try to post 1 transformation a week. Stories is where it's at for me. Like, I feel comfortable in stories. Like, because I don't feel like I have to create. I just feel like I'm literally documenting. Like, I feel like, and another thing that I'm really adamant about is moderation, because I do enjoy living my life. And for so long, I did the fad diets, and I told myself I couldn't do this or couldn't do that. And I get a good response. And I've tried to just be okay with my flaws, because like, I think about like, people are going to see like that they can do it too if I can do it. And like, I just share, I don't know, because I think about what I like to see. Like, I follow different people, and when I think, oh, I like that, or that gives me inspiration, or I follow that person because they give me inspiration on food or things like that. So I try to just think like that. Okay, like, oh, I really like that. So I will try to think like, okay, I need to do a post like that because those are my people. So that's kind of really what I go with. So.
Yeah. Okay. So this isn't one of the official Meredith questions, but I wanted to make sure I asked you because it's been really helpful to me. I would love for you to share with everyone how you approach Instagram and getting followers, because it's different from what Courtney shared a few weeks ago. And I think it's good. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but your method has worked really well for me, more so than hashtags. So it's good for people to have multiple options.
Yeah. So, I have tried the hashtag thing, and I still hashtag my pictures, but every time, first of all, I'm not creative when it comes to hashtags. I'm like, Kentucky girl, more coffee, please. Like, I don't know what to put, like, I just can't think of these things. And if I do get creative, there's like 3 posts on it. I'm like, no one's going to find me, and so I know that before Beachbody, I never once looked at a hashtag. Like, I never once was like, unless it was Burger Week, I'm like, ooh, what are the burgers, That's just me. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to find, because everybody's like, oh, find your people. And I would just be seeing Beachbody coaches. And I'm like, these are already people that, like, they're not my people. So I started just going through, just going through my timeline, whatever, my feed. And if I'd see somebody, just regardless, somebody not a Beachbody coach, or someone probably not on my team, because I'm not going to do that. I go and I just see who's liked it, and I click on it, and I'll click on these people's profiles. First of all, they're active because they're obviously liking people's stuff, and they're also mutual. So when they see that I followed them, they're like, oh, because it'll say also followed by blah, 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 blah. And they'll just be like, oh, cool. Like, she's so-and-so's friend. And I've actually had people like that have bought challenge packs from me that have said like, oh, I saw that you're so-and-so's friend. And then they just felt more comfortable. They just felt more comfortable because they knew they just felt like I was more like a real person. Because I feel like I'm definitely more comfortable around people when they're trying to, I guess, talk to me about something that's changed their life or whatever, when, you know, someone that I know knows them in real life. You know, there's just, the internet is just like, you never know. So I started doing that. And another thing I do is I will click, obviously, the person, and I'll look, and I really don't like survey their profile that much. I'll just look and see what's on their first thing. And I will definitely follow them. Well, first of all, I always check, because sometimes it'll be like, class of 2021. I'm like, no, they're way too young. You know, but then I will see if their followers are lower than the amount of people they follow, they're probably going to follow me back. That's just generally how it is. And I do follow, there's a couple hashtags that I do follow, and I've gotten a couple people on that. Like, I follow like hashtag sibling loss, because I lost my brother, and that's something that's really huge to me. And I can definitely connect with people in that way. So whenever I see a post that comes up on that's somebody, I'll just be like, you know, offer them support and just tell them a little bit about me. And then generally I follow them and they follow me back, because, you know, but I generally don't really use hashtags to find people. And I'll just go on sprees. Like, I'll just be like, you know, I think before this call, I followed like 100 people. And then I'll take a couple days off, and I'll use the unfollow cleaner feature, and I'll get rid of some people, because I do want to keep my amount followed under my followers.
Cool. So I hope everyone, if that's like unclear, I'm sure that MC is willing to like do more of like go live sometime in the group page and do like an Instagram training and show you. But I hope that gives you like something to get started, because once I started doing that, that helped me a lot. I had her teach me that in Mexico. So, so how do you handle follow-ups when a conversation goes quiet and you've sent out or you've sent out links that are just sitting there for months? What do you do in those situations?
There's a couple situations. I generally just keep harassing them, because that's just what that's what I do. And depending on the person and the goals that they shared with me, I always obviously try to restate their goals. Sometimes I will go in with that, like, and I forgot to say this earlier, a book that that changed everything for me was Get Over Your Damn Self. Like, that was everything to me. And that's another reason that I stopped shying away from the coaching opportunity a little more. I was a little less afraid of it, and I was like, I just got to do it. But she has an objection, a thing in there that's like, hey, and I did this actually to a girl that like ghosted me for like months. Like, I was trying to sign this girl up for like a year, and I finally just sent this to her, and she signed up. I mean, she's not around anymore. She just disappeared again, but it's fine. Like, I tried. But it's like, hey, so-and-so, I know we talked about blah, 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 and then you restate their goals, and I know this can really help you, and I'm really good at my job, so I'm just going to keep messaging you until you tell me to stop. Like, that's it. Like, you know, and she was like, you're right, I'm so sorry, you know, and I've gotten people like that, and I've done that a couple times, and one girl was like, and I was like, I don't hope I'm not annoying you, but I'm really good at my job, and this is part of my job, and my job is to get you results. And, you know, so I had one girl that was like, no, you're not annoying me, I really appreciate it. She still hasn't signed up, but I'm going to keep harassing her. And then sometimes I'll go on message sprees, like with my, like, a video, and this won't be something I'm just sending out to multiple people. I'll literally be like, hey, so-and-so, you know, and I try to do that way as well, just depending on what our conversation was like, you know. I just try to at least just keep harassing them, you know, until they literally tell me to stop. So that's really it. Sometimes if they say it's not a good time, I will obviously get their email, like I said, and I'll ask them when's a better time, and generally they'll give me a month. And so in Streak, I don't know if you guys noticed this. I don't know why I wasn't using this feature for so long, and I started using it this month, and it's a lifesaver. The follow-up feature, which will like literally remind you So like at any given time. So there are people that are like interested in my Lift for the October group, because I'm like, I'm not doing another one, I probably will, but in October. And so I set a reminder, or that someone tells me that they're going to be moving, like going to law school, and they're going to be moving in and this, so I'll put a reminder on Streak and I'll be like, hey, catch up with her, ask her how law school is going, just so people know that like I care. And then I'll say, if somebody says they're interested in September, it's just like a reminder. It'll like send you an email and it'll tell you exactly what you said, which is good when hopefully you're inviting so many people that you can't even remember anymore. So it's a really helpful feature. Yeah, so that's what I do. And I just use Streak as much as possible because it's just a lifesaver.
All right, so there's a couple questions left on this list, but you've talked about most of them. So since we only have 10 minutes left, I wanted to open it up to see if anyone else had questions for MC. Someone just unmute themselves. I just heard a noise. Just unmute yourself.
I can see in the comments that somebody had asked about the Career app. So I don't know if you can go into that a little bit more with people.
Yeah, I think I got this off of, it's funny because I know these people, all the coaches' names now, most of them, but when I first started out, I didn't know their names. So I'm like, I don't know if that really was, I feel like, was it Jen Richardson who did the call? Yeah, Jen Richardson did the call, and she was talking about, it's literally just called, I think it's Cleaner for, I think she was saying even there's a cleaner for IG and a cleaner for Instagram, but I think it's Cleaner for IG. I don't know. Let me see what it looks like. But it basically, and I want to say too, it won't let you unfollow more than 50 people at a time, because it's technically, it can report, like it can look to Instagram like you're a bot. Sometimes I live life on the edge and I'll do it twice, but I haven't had any problems. But I will say, but that's just how I am. Like if I don't do it, I'll forget and I won't do it. So it's called Cleaner for Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Where did that come from? Did someone just send that to you?
No.
That's my phone. I took that screenshot earlier to send to my coaches because they were asking about it in our new coach thread, and I circled it. So that's what it looks like. But yeah, that's my background of all of us at Summit. But yeah, that's what the icon looks like. So
yeah, that's it.
Oh, Allison shared it. Okay. I was like, where'd that come from? Okay.
Allison's screen.
Yeah. So, more questions? Any more questions for MC? We have 7 minutes left. Ooh. There's me. Okay.
Hey, MC, I have a question actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you are using Streak and you're like on your phone, have you noticed any kind of different ways that make it easier to do it like portably?
I want to say this too, because when I first started Streak, I was like, oh, we need to write down everything. And I was trying to like record everything, and I don't use Streak unless I'm getting someone's email, so I actually just don't even use it on my phone. I have the app, I don't use it. Like I said, because I was thinking like, oh, I need to like track everybody I'm inviting, but then it was just making my Streak messy. And Streak is not, to be honest, Streak is really not that helpful if you don't have people's emails. Like it's not, I don't know. So that's why I was saying I just do like the sheet of paper and write things down. And if I'm talking, so if someone responds that they're interested, I'll highlight their name, so that I can even just go back and be like, oh, someone, because if people just ghost me, then I just, I'll probably message them back again. But I don't really use it on my phone because I really use it for mass emails and to keep track of my challengers and where they're at and the weekly check-ins and all that stuff.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I'm still getting used to Zoom. Along the Streak question, because I haven't actually looked at Streak yet. Is it specific to just the emails and email correspondence? or can you put stuff in based on like Facebook Messenger and Instagram messaging and track things that way?
I mean, you can in a way, like you can add notes. If I've talked to someone on the phone, I've actually done where I've not recorded the actual conversation, but I'll take like notes on there. But I really only put people in Streak unless unless they've been interested and I get their email. What I'll do to keep track with people, if they're really interested, I'll write it down, like I said. But you can just tell when you message people, because like I said, when I'm cold inviting people or when I'm messaging people because they've liked something, I can see that I've messaged them previously. So unless they're like have said that they are interested, I don't use Streak, because I think that's one of those things I was saying. I tried to like, I'm type A and I try to make everything perfect and organized, but like it doesn't need to be organized if you know what I mean? Like it's just making things more complicated, I guess. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question? Okay. So I just always make sure to get their email, regardless of if I've talked to them, I just try to get their email. So I guess that's it. And then I'll try to move it to email. And if they prefer text or whatever, then I'll do that as well. I see someone asked if I use the free option for Streak. Yeah, I just use the regular one. I haven't bought anything.
Hey, Mary Catherine.
Yes, I hear something.
It's Alicia. I don't have my video on because I am cleaning and my house is really messy. So here we are. But I am I kind of was using this time as a power hour. And someone just asked me about, they're like, so what's this health thing you're doing? Is it an MLM? And so like, I just am curious as to how you handle those situations. I would love input because I have no idea what to say to her.
Yeah, that one's a hard one. Generally, so I would definitely go with what is this health thing, first of all. And then I really just don't entertain that stuff that much, I guess. I just really focus on me. But I've also gotten, because, technically we are an MLM, but you can talk about first of all, I would even ask like if they've had experience with other MLMs too, because sometimes people like have this notion. Like I remember I got one response this week and I shared it in our message thread. When I like invited, she's like, no, sorry, I don't support MLMs. And I was just like, okay, right. Okay. But it's because they have this bad rep of like people spending all this money to, onboard or whatever. And, we don't do that. We literally just spend the money that we're using on ourselves, like you don't have to buy anything except for what you're using on yourself. So I think the interesting thing it would be to figure out what they're really asking.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I think that's what you need to do is, I guess, to ask more questions, but also just talk about your journey and just not be afraid of it. And I think that knowing a little bit more about the company and just how we're different from a lot of the stereotypical ones was really helpful for me, because I felt like I could just talk about it. How well do you know this person?
Pretty well. I danced with her in high school, so.
Yeah, I would say I would send her a voice message. I would just be like, hey, I'm doing this thing. I don't know if you've heard of Beachbody. They did the programs like Insanity. Like I just talk about, because people know these programs work.
Right.
Even if they don't know the name Beachbody, like they know they work, like
right.
Regardless. I didn't realize Beachbody was an MLM. I didn't know what that was even called when I first signed up with right. Insanity.
Right.
Yeah, just be like, yeah, I love it. I get to just talk about what you love about it and what you're doing, and don't be afraid of it. And then maybe she will say like a little more of why she's asking you that, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Thank you. I would just add, not to stomp on your shoes or anything. But definitely I second everything Mary Catherine said. Ask her, what she's curious about. Like if she's working on health and fitness goals. And this is for everyone, obviously. And then depending on where that goes, like I always say, well, my first priority is just to like get people the results I've gotten and, you know, get them living their happiest, healthiest life. And if that's what you want, we can definitely get you there. And whether or not you're interested in the business aspect of it is, you know, I'm fine either way. I always say, like, I'll never pressure you to do more than you want to do. If you just want to be a customer, then you're going to get the best results of your life. Like, so, because some MLMs operate where they're like trying so hard to get people to do the business, like more so. So, but yeah, I just find out where she's at and talk about the programs and how amazing they are. And I'm really proud that we're an MLM because there are so many types of people that are underrepresented in fitness. And in this way, people get to work with people who look like them and who relate to them. And that's so rare in fitness. So that's what I say to people, that I'm proud we're a network marketing business because it allows people who never saw themselves represented in fitness to feel included.
Gotcha.
So it is 9:01. I'm sorry. I took the last 2 minutes, but I thought that was important because I know a lot of new coaches struggle with that and they get that question and it makes you clam up and get really nervous. And even 3.5 years in, like my stomach gets tied in knots when I get those kind of questions. So, yeah, I throw it back to Meredith to close out.
Sure, why not? Thank you so much, you guys. You're both amazing. Those were great. I was even sitting here like, I don't know what I would say to that. It was really fun to hear you guys' answers. MC, thank you for your big shares. So much great content. I took a ton of notes. I'm super excited to see what people took away in the post-call discussion. I know you guys hopefully took notes as well and found a couple golden nuggets in there that you're going to put into action. And I think, you know, both Bethany and MC are both just like amazing examples of just loving our programs, loving our products, making a decision, choosing to build a business, choosing to like set their bar higher and do something bigger. And it's really, really exciting to see what that payoff looks like for both of them and the team that's really coming together because of it. Because everything that you do, there's a ripple effect that comes out of that. So never forget that what you're doing, even though sometimes it feels like you're on an isolated island and you're working from home, like what you're doing is making a huge impact on a lot of lives that you probably don't even realize are eyes that are on you right now. So stick with it, because when you quit, you're letting somebody else down that's looking up to you every single day. I'm going to start a post-call discussion on the team page. Again, thank you so much, MC and Bethany, for sharing your lights. And thank you guys all for getting on the call tonight, and we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.